with you. So thanks for being here. Come on in. I'm going to take just a second here, make sure I got everything set up, which I think I do. So I'm going to, okay. Just want to check some things. Give me 1 second. All right. I think I am good. Hope you've been well. Like I said, it's been a minute since I've done one of these. I did my Affirmations with Ace, my Monday series. That's been going pretty well. If you've been participating with that, thank you. Thank you for supporting that. It's been going real well. People are interacting, people are engaging. And the Affirmation series is just me just really helping people understand the importance of affirmations and how it could really help you on your journey. But tonight, I'm just going to freestyle. I don't have too many notes or anything in my mind. I will tell you guys, I went away on a 10-day sabbatical, I guess you would call it, where I just got away from everything. I left Ohio and I went all the way down to Hot Springs, Arkansas, of all places. And it was very interesting. It allowed me to detach. It allowed me to get away from life, business, everything. There were a number of things that took place with me in 2020, personally, that spilled over into 2021. And during all this time, I never took a pause and detached and got away from everything. So I really needed this time to just deal with me. It's kind of like things just happened and I just kept running. I just kept running through all of it. And after taking this trip away, I would recommend once a year you consider doing the same thing, taking just a few days. If you can take a week, I probably needed more time, but I was thankful for the time that I did take and just get away from everything. Um, it's just so important that we do that. And during this time, very limited phone time. In fact, I only had two conversations, and it was towards the end of my trip the entire time I was gone. And I didn't engage in any business or anything like that. And I did a good job just not picking up my phone that I look at 9 million times a day. And I was just able to detach. The scenery was beautiful in Hot Springs. Never been there before. Didn't even know people stayed in Arkansas. So it was kind of cool. But, and I don't know, somewhere in my mind, I thought Arkansas ended with a W. I got down there and said, oh, wow, it ends with an S, you know. So I don't know what that's about. I don't know if the Mandela effect, I don't know what that's about. But really cool place in Hot Springs. Went to the Gangster Museum. They got a lot of history with a lot of the gangsters. I was able to um, go to one of the bathhouses. Shout out to Buck staff. They really took care of me. And I had a gangster type um, experience going to that bathhouse where they put me in a hot tub with the hot spring water and they just took me through this entire process that ended up with me getting a full massage by a man. No man has ever massaged me until this event. So that was kind of interesting for me, but the experience was just awesome. Awesome. 2 hours of just getting nothing but personal care, personal love, all sent to me and by that wonderful staff. So if you're in Hot Springs, you want to go through the experience, definitely check out Buck House. They do a really, really, really good job there. And taking the time away to focus on me was huge. I was able to unplug and I was able to just be at one with myself. And I think for a lot of us, we wake up every day and we just hit the ground running. And we go through this 10, 12, 15 hours a day, then we sleep, but we never take that time to pause, to shut down, and to do some reflecting. And sometimes we need blocks of time in the form of days, not just hours, days to be able to do that. So I was able to engage in activities that really helped me reset myself. Did a lot of hiking on trails. What was interesting is that I saw a lot of people, having the campground experience with their RVs and tents. And these were individuals that just, said, look, we're not dealing with anything that's going on in the world other than what's going on right here at this campground. And that was very interesting to see, seeing them take advantage of nature. The nature trails were fabulous. I love the water, um, and I love being around water. And I actually, for 2 days, I did this writing ceremony where in the morning I would write out everything that I wanted to release, everything that was choosing to release. And then I would go on the trail by the water and I would just burn it, took a lighter and just burn that sheet of paper. And it was a way of me releasing and leaving the very things that I wanted to let go of right there at Lake Catherine, because I did it 2 days in a row at this lake called Lake Catherine, which was along the trail. So I was able to do that, spend some quiet time, and actually go through this entire ceremony experience doing that, which was really, really, really cool. So again, with everything that's taken place in 2020, that's continually taking place now, consider taking some time away for you. Consider taking some time away where you can kind of like get away from everything and somewhat just recharge, reset. Um, you might find it will do you some good. For me, this was an opportunity for me more than anything else to release and let go of some things that I've been dealing with and to come back to Ohio with a whole different attitude. So the experience was great. One other cool thing about hot springs is that they actually have this water that comes from under the earth's surface. I don't know how far down, but it sprouts up, and when the water comes out, it can be as hot as 114 degrees. And they have these, I don't want to call them water fountains because it's not somewhere where you can just go drink the water there, but they have these water stations, is what I should call, where people can take their jugs of water or their empty bottle waters and fill them up and then drink the water there. The water is fabulous there. And I guess this has been happening for hundreds of years. So really, really cool experience doing that. And it was just an awesome trip. Awesome trip. I'm probably going to go there every year. I'll probably go later on in the year because the temperature was damn near 100 degrees every day. So hiking during the day, unbearable, but then the temperature dropped towards the evening, and I was able to get some good hike time then. So, real interesting trip. One of the things I thought about was where we are as a human species with everything that we're navigating and with the shift that's taken place on the planet. And I've just been observing people, really observing people, observing their mannerisms. And a couple videos ago, I talked about there's two truths right now operating on this planet. And it's not about right or wrong, left, right, it has good, bad, it has nothing to do with that. It's just that we have two polaring opposites taking place on this planet right now. And just seeing that play out, and even in Arkansas, I saw it. I can see people on one side and people on the other side. And as I was meditating throughout the week, it came to me that, hey, Ace, this stuff has to bubble up. It has to come up in order for the new earth to become what it's going to become. And so, taking all of this in, because I had many downloads during the week that I was there, it hit me that, you know what, this is all just in the natural process of things. The other thing that came to me is that a lot of people are in this mode where they feel that they have to judge or fight something. And I'm learning in a very unique way that the fight will never be won in the physical reality. And what do I mean by that? Well, judging someone, talking down at someone, blaming someone, that's the old way of doing things. That's not going to work today. We have to raise our vibration, and we have to get on such a higher frequency that that example is what's going to win or win over what we're choosing to experience on this planet. A thought just came to me about Martin Luther King and his whole nonviolence way of doing things. And I got to be honest with you, I don't know if I could have walked in those shoes back in those days. I don't know if I could have walked into a situation and be physically abused, spat on. I don't know. I don't believe that I could have taken on that type of abuse. But it is that example that paved the way, that created some of the advancements that we've had in civil rights. Planet still has a long way to go, but that's just one example. So here we are now looking at this particular situation with everything that's happening on this planet. And yes, it's going to take a different type of energy to bring the new earth into focus on this planet. I remember last year in 2020, with a number of events that took place, I jumped into the matrix, very angry, very judgmental. I jumped into the matrix blaming and played my part in in contributing to the chaos or the madness or whatever you want to call it with some of the things that took place last year. But I'm now in a different vibration of understanding that, hey, Ace, this is going to be, you got to deal with this differently. You have to deal with this from a mindset and a mentality of love, no judgment, and allowing everyone to have their truth. Some people call it a spiritual warfare. I don't even know if it's that. I just think that we have two opposite sides. One side is very fearful, another side is very optimistic, living in their power. And those two things are playing out right now. There's only about 13 families, less than 100 people, that have the ability to control over 7 billion people on this planet. And I want you to think about that for a minute. And one of the ways to implement control is through fear. That's why I speak about it a lot, because if we allow fear to consume us, then something ultimately will control us. And when you look at the climate of things right now and how fear is being used as a weapon, it comes in so many different variables. And sometimes it's very hard to understand or to see how fear being injected into society is actually controlling us or hurting us. Very hard to see. Give me a second here. And so, oh, don't want to do that. And so, when we look at the new weaponry that's being used on humanity, no, it's not bombs. It's all psyops. Little variations that create divisions between me and you, and we recognize it. And now we look at each other as enemies. We look at each other in a non trusting way, and it creates more division. We already know what's going on with the vaccine. Now it's a talking point. Are or are you not? And it just keeps escalating. Last year, and it's still going on, it's about the mask, to wear one or not one, not wear one. But it's been building up to this point. It's almost as if this just didn't start last year. We already know about race, super weapon. They use it every 4 years. We know about economics, rich or poor. That's ongoing. We know about statuses. Do you have a degree or don't you? Male and female. Are you gay or are you straight? Are you Democrat or Republican? I can go on and on. Male, female, old, young. So many variations that have introduced, with the variation, tactics of division and separatism that have you and I looking at each other in a way that we don't see the common connection between us, because we've been trained to look at the division amongst us. And it continues to scale up. It continues to scale up. It continues to scale up. And that's why I believe that the only way that the powers of be can control us The only way they can control us is through fear. It's through fear. It's through us recognizing that I don't like you and you don't like me because of this long list of psychops that they have put on humanity. Because if they can keep us in the lower vibrational energies, all associated with fear, anger, jealousy, grief, enviness, hatred, bitterness, spitefulness, if they can keep us in that quadrant of dense energies, what happens is we blind ourselves individually from how great we can be. Then the agenda goes a little deeper than that, because if they can keep us in this small space of lower frequencies and lower energies, then we keep fighting each other. We keep being upset with one another. Now I'm in a grocery store. I have my mask on and you don't have yours on. I'm looking at you as an enemy. So we are walking around as programmed time bombs, so to speak, looking for the next target. And the next target is anyone that is different from us, anyone that isn't going along with what we've been programmed to believe. And that's what's going on. And that's why it's so important that we continue to climb and raise our energy, because when you are elevated to a point of peace, a point of love, a point of acceptance, and a point of allowing individuals to be who they are, they can't touch you. You are now out of their control, so to speak. Does that make sense? Now you're out of their control. And my friends, they don't want us out of their control. Remember, it's less than 100 people on this planet that are controlling about 7 billion people, about 13 families. Like, when you really take that into your senses, it's like, what on earth? But guys, it's been like that. Remember, 3% of the population make more than the other 97% put together. This is how the system has been designed. So what we have to do is we have to individually let go of the control, elevate our energy, elevate the operating system within ourselves, and rise above it. And the more we can rise, because if I have a great attitude and I'm in a state of acceptance and love, and I'm okay with who I am as a human being, I can now look at you and see the commonalities versus being in that dense energy where they want to control us. We cannot fight with the same tactics that's being perpetrated on us. We have to rise above. And the only way we can do that is energetically. Marcus Aurelius had a quote that he wrote, I don't know, 2,000 years ago. I don't know. He said, the happiness that one has is dependent on the quality of their thoughts. And I firmly believe that. Here's what's interesting. So I'm in Hot Springs, Arkansas, minding my own business, disconnected from the planet. I know things were happening in Afghanistan and, the current events, this, that, and the other. But you know what? The entire time I was gone, no one bothered me. The entire time I was gone, life went on. I was able to elevate my sense of well being, and I was out of that matrix. We don't have to be controlled by these different things that are psychologically attacking us. We can choose not to participate. There are more of us than them. We don't have to bend to their fear tactics. And I'm not making this an issue of that there's something wrong with people that don't take the vaccine or something wrong with people that do take the vaccine. I don't care about that. People should be entitled to do whatever they feel they're led to do. But once it's weaponized, that's where we have to pay attention. Once any issue is weaponized in a way where we're looking at each other sideways because of an issue, we have to look at things a little differently. And remember, this has been scaling up. How many times have you looked at another human being and said, they're not as good as I am? Or you may have had the other thought, they're better than me. How many times have you pulled up at a light and you saw somebody that in your mind had a whole lot of money and you instantly felt like shit? See, it goes both ways. It's part of the programming. These are all things that create the divisions within us that then move on, and those particular things control us. So here we are in the month of September, and I'm going to be doing a lot more videos on this topic because I feel it's important that we don't resist what's taking place, because what we're seeing play out in humanity right now has to take place. It should take place because, like everything else, if you have a stomach ache because you ate something bad, it has to come up. So what we're experiencing right now is humanity throwing up. So we're going to go through that, but how we respond is everything else. How we respond is everything else. So I have a lot more compassion for every human being. Every human being. No matter what you believe, we are all in this together. And my ultimate goal is to bring a different spotlight to the issues that we're navigating through, to just give you some things to think about. They're real good at showcasing the problem. They're real good in showcasing the division. They're real good at keeping us at bay from one another. But what we have to do is we have to continue to talk through how to come together, how to unite. And again, we can't fight with the old third dimensional tactics. No, we're going fifth dimension, people. It's already here. The energy's here. It's not going anywhere. So we have to rise to the occasion. We have to uplift the spirit within us. We have to work on ourselves. We can't fight on the physical plane. We have to elevate into the God force within us and operate on that level. That's what we have to do. So, with that, I'm going to get out of here. I can talk all night long, but I'm not going to do that. I'll be back. I'm going to probably come back with some different things, just come at this with a different angle and do some different things. But thanks for being here with me. Know that I love you. Source bless you. Happiness, health, and success to you and to your entire family. Wishing you nothing but the very best. Okay? Love and respect. And I'll see you in the next video.